Kody Brown is not a good head of his household. He has favorites, which has created fractures within his family. In particular, this has affected his relationship with his children. Kody is estranged from many of his kids. The father of 18 is oblivious to the pain and suffering he has caused his family. Kody has expressed that he is waiting for the children to apologize to him before he considers reconciliation. However, it should be the other way around. Gabe Brown shares his father's shortcomings. Gabe was candid about the situation with his father. Kody Brown tried to kick his teenage sons out of the house during the COVID-19 pandemic, including Gabe. Janelle Brown stepped in before that could happen. The relationship with Kody and Gabe has been strained ever since. Gabe talks to his mother Janella about a recent text exchange between himself and his father. Kody doesn't understand that he is the responsible party for the rift between himself and Gabe. Hopefully, he comes to this realization so the relationship can be repaired. Kody Brown refuses to be accountable. Gabe Brown doesn't understand why his father refuses to take accountability for his actions. He shared with his mother Janelle, "I told Dad that if he doesn't change and he can't take accountability, then I just won't ever see him again. And I'm perfectly okay with that." Most of the Brown children have made the same decision as Gabe, and this is because Kody's behavior towards the children is not acceptable. Janelle Brown chimed in with what she thought it would take for Kody to reconcile with the children. She said that she doesn't know what it would take at this point to get things back to normal. Janelle shared that the children are so busy and they're starting to spread out across the country. Gabe Brown replied to his mom, "I think it would take Dad really setting things straight, and I think that that would take an act of God." Janelle has always taken the side of her children. She said their dad had been expressing things to them just off the cuff about, he wished that he would have waited and just married Robin. "I don't know what Dad says that to their kids, but my kids have many stories like that." Janelle is protective of her kids when it comes to their relationship with their father. This is because Kody is not aware of how he is hurting his own children. Kody Brown can still redeem himself. Kody still can reconcile with his children, but he needs to take accountability for his actions. Everyone makes mistakes, and Kody needs to own up to his. For reconciliation to take place, Kody needs to apologize for what he has done. If he were to admit his faults, some of his children would be open to fixing the relationship. The problem is that Kody has chosen to do the opposite. He expects the children to take responsibility for the damage that Kody caused. He frequently gaslights and manipulates his children to serve his narrative. If Kody Brown does not change his ways, he will end up alone and miserable. His family is not going to stick around if he doesn't change his behavior and apologize. Do you think Kody Brown will own up to the damage and destruction he has caused? This is the only way he will be able to heal the relationships with his children. Let us know what you think in the comments. TLC's Sister Wives has chronicled the lives of the Brown family for over a decade, providing viewers with an intimate look at the complexities of plural marriage. At the heart of the show is Kody Brown, the patriarch who has faced numerous challenges in managing his relationships with his 4 wives and 18 children. While the show initially focused on the dynamics between Kody and his wives, recent seasons have shifted to highlight the growing tension between Kody and several of his children, particularly in the aftermath of his separation from some of his wives. The strained relationships between Kody and his children have become increasingly apparent, with several of his kids openly expressing their frustrations and disappointment in him. Some of Kody's children have distanced themselves from him due to his perceived favoritism toward his 4th wife, Robin, and his handling of family conflicts, particularly those that arose during the COVID-19 pandemic. With the growing emotional rift between Kody and his children, many fans of Sister Wives have begun to wonder, is there still hope for Kody Brown to reconcile with his kids? Can the fractured relationships be mended, or has the damage become too deep? In this article, we'll explore the underlying issues that have contributed to the estrangement between Kody and some of his children, the possibility of reconciliation, and what steps Kody might need to take family tensions. The Brown family's tensions reached a boiling point during the COVID-19 pandemic, which served as a catalyst for many of the underlying issues that have been simmering beneath the surface. Kody's strict approach to COVID-19 protocols created significant divisions within the family, with some of his children feeling alienated by his decisions. Throughout the pandemic, Kody enforced stringent rules, insisting that the family adhere to his guidelines to protect the health of his household, particularly Robyn and her children. However, Kody's strict enforcement of these rules led to friction with several of his other wives and their children, particularly Janelle and Christine. Both wives expressed frustration with Kody's inflexibility, as their children felt that Kody was prioritizing his relationship with Robyn's family over his connections with the rest of his children. For instance, Kody's son Gabriel, who is Janelle's child, shared his heartbreak over Kody missing significant moments in his life, including his birthday, due to Kody's adherence to his own COVID-19 protocols. The emotional toll of these actions was evident, as Gabriel and other children felt abandoned by their father. The lack of physical presence, coupled with the perception that Kody was showing favoritism toward Robyn's family, caused significant emotional damage. Gabriel's tearful recollection of Kody's absence on his birthday was one of the most poignant moments in recent seasons, highlighting the depth of hurt that the children were experiencing. While the pandemic was a major stressor, it also brought to the surface long-standing feelings of neglect and disappointment that some of Kody's children had been harboring for years. Kody's focus on maintaining order and control during the pandemic seemed to come at the cost of nurturing emotional connections with his children, further deepening the divide. Favoritism and the Robyn factor. One of the most contentious issues within the Brown family has been Kody's perceived favoritism toward his fourth wife, Robyn, and her children. Since Robyn joined the family in 2010, viewers have noted that Kody appears to spend more time with her and their children than with his other wives and their kids. This has caused resentment not only among his wives, but also among his children, many of whom feel that Kody has neglected them in favor of Robyn's family. The issue of favoritism became even more pronounced during the COVID-19 pandemic, as Kody spent the majority of his time with Robyn and her children, isolating from the rest of the family. This decision further alienated his other children, who felt abandoned and overlooked. Janelle's children, in particular, have been vocal about their feelings of being pushed aside, with Gabriel and his brother Garrison both expressing their frustration with Kody's actions. The favoritism toward Robyn has not only affected Kody's relationships with his children, but has also contributed to the breakdown of his marriages with Christine and Janelle. Christine, who ultimately decided to leave the plural marriage, cited Kody's prioritization of Robyn as one of the reasons for her departure. Janelle, while still technically part of the family, has also expressed dissatisfaction with the way Kody has handled his relationships with his wives and children, noting that she feels disconnected from him. For Kody's children, the perception that their father is more invested in Robyn's family than in them has caused deep emotional wounds. Many of the children feel that Kody's actions have created a hierarchy within the family, where Robyn's children are placed at the top and everyone else is left to fend for themselves. This sense of being second class within their own family has fueled resentment and contributed to the growing estrangement between Kody and several of his children. The emotional toll on the children. The emotional toll of Kody's actions on his children has been significant, particularly for those who feel abandoned or neglected by their father. Many of Kody's children have grown up in a complex family structure where attention and affection are divided among multiple siblings and parents. While some of the children have adapted well to this dynamic, others have struggled with feelings of invisibility and rejection. Gabriel and Garrison, two of Janelle's sons, have been among the most vocal about their pain. Gabriel's tearful recounting of how Kody forgot his birthday during the pandemic was a heartbreaking moment for viewers, as it highlighted the emotional distance that had developed between father and son. Gabriel's sense of loss was palpable, and it was clear that Kody's absence had left a deep mark on him.